welcome everyone. I'm really happy to see you guys here joining. Feel free, obviously, to already start in the chat, texting, saying hello, or also depending on which platform you're on. If you're on Twitter, feel free to share it and make other people join as well. As typical, we have roughly 1 hour planned for this session, and we will go through different topics, which I will introduce in a minute. And of course, you guys are very welcome, because it's not only a monthly recap, but it's also an AMA session. So you are more than welcome to share your questions in the chat, exchange. If you are on Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, I can see you in the chat functionality here in the tool that we're using. Of course, you can also ask in our Discord server. I will have an eye on that and try to also track it. But yeah, if you're on those platforms anyways, it might make sense to chat on these platforms. So great to see the numbers grow. We're reaching roughly 30 people now already joining us, which is really good to see. And I would say it's probably already time that we introduce a little bit of the agenda and get started a little bit, because the agenda is not a secret, right? We shared it up front. So yeah, I think we can probably already get started on that. So we have a couple of topics here, because a lot of things have been developing over the last couple of weeks since we had the last session. I think it was also around the 8th of June last time, so roughly 1 month ago. This is now the 7th monthly session that we do. So it's kind of getting a rhythm, which is nice. And yeah, today, again, of course, we want to talk about the TGE update. We titled it Wen ONO, right? So there's some things that we want to communicate with you guys and yeah, share with you. Then we want to talk about the community pre-sale on PinkSale. Then Daniel will give us some updates on the funding and also on the NAVISP /AI fraud detection project that we are working on. Lucy will talk a bit about the BONO to ONO conversion, which is, yeah, as we know, it's one of the very important topics for all the miners out there, people that already have BONO, to have more clarity on that. And then I will be sharing a little bit about the community challenge that we announced, I think 2 hours ago, roughly, something like that. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to also check that out. But don't leave the stream in the meantime, right? You can leave the stream open and then, just jump over, give it a like, interact, start getting accustomed to it. But I will explain it a bit more in depth later. Yeah, so I would say we do a very rough intro session, because a lot of the people already know who you guys are, but maybe we have some new joiners in here. We had a lot of activity recently on our social posts, so hopefully there's some new people in here, and for everybody to get to know you, it would be nice if you can give a short intro, and maybe Lucy, you can get started with that.
Yeah, finally I'm back. Hey guys, I'm Lucy. I'm with Onocoy since almost the beginning. I work in the product management. I also do support, documentation, communication, a lot of stuff. My background is in GNSS, actually, so I'm an engineer, and I'm always happy to answer your questions.
Perfect. Yeah, Lucy has recently been also in Hong Kong. If you haven't seen the video that she had with, what was his name? Li Tu Su? Say again?
Yes.
Li Tu, sorry. Yeah, exactly, with a professor from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Check it out on our YouTube. It's a really interesting conversation. You learn a lot about why what Onocoy is building is really important within the GNSS industry, really from a, well, I would say it's a professor from a university. It's a trustworthy source, right? It's not trust me, bro, someone on Twitter, but actually somebody showing their face. So yeah, check out the video. Now, next up, Daniel, maybe you can give a short intro about yourself as well.
Sure, Daniel Lammann. Sorry, Tommy and me, we were sitting in the same room.
You can manage.
So yes, Daniel Lammann, I'm the initiator of the Onocoy project. My background is in the satellite navigation, been there since 1997. Did the first startup to do the hardware side of GPS, but been working on the Onocoy project on its mission since 3 years, roughly. I'm mostly looking after the overall strategy, the vision of the project, the fundraising, some also public speeches and appearances. But I'm also technical. I'm still a software engineer, so I also do a bit hands-on work on what we actually do in the real world.
Perfect. Okay. Well, then, Daniel, I would say it's time for you to mute and for Tommy to unmute and introduce yourself to all the people listening in.
Yeah, hi guys. Tommy here. I'm also one of the old guys from the GPS industry. But as Dominic lately calculated, my experience in the crypto space is almost as much as in the GPS industry, given that a crypto or a normal year, time year counts about 7 times as much in crypto. So it's both more than 20 years in both ends.
Yeah, because we say dog years because they're so intense. So 1 year counts as 7 years in normal life in a certain way. At least that's what it feels like sometimes, and at the speed of things developing. So yeah.
That's correct. It's intense and an enormously fast learning curve and exciting. Yeah.
Cool.
I look after a lot of things in Onocoy organizational stuff, but I'm also looking after overseeing the token launch and many, many other things.
Yes, perfect. Okay, well then, as said, I introduced briefly what we will be talking about. I'm not going to repeat that now. If you want to see it, it's in the announcement on today's AMA. Just for everybody tuning in for the first time on how we are going to run this session and how it's going to work. So basically, we have those different topic areas, right, where we will be talking about and, giving you guys an update. And as said, it's an AMA. So we want you to ask your questions and to give us feedback. So whenever you have something that you want to ask and it might fit the topic, just post it at that point in time. And then we really try to, answer your questions at the right point in time when they fit. You can also ask your questions already now if you have a very specific question that you feel like as not reflected in the agenda that we set for today. So feel free to drop them anytime. We really try to make sure that we don't miss any questions. And I think the last couple of times we managed to cover all the questions and answer whatever you guys wanted to get answers to. So that's the kind of idea. We will be roughly here for round about an hour. That's typically the time that we need, that we take. So could be 50 minutes, could be 70, 80 minutes. We'll see, but roughly 1 hour. So if you haven't done yet, well, maybe rush quickly and get a coffee or a water or something and lean back and enjoy the show. And I would say, Tommy, without further ado, I hand over the microphone to you again. And you can give us a little bit of an update on Wen ONO / the TGE update.
All right. So we're progressing well. It's quite intense at our end, as you can imagine. But we're sort of in the final preparation, just about to do a try run to make sure everything technical is ready. So it's really around the corner. I hope we can do it this month. Well, I don't want to go into the very date because there is a bit of risk, because there might also be a bit of a tactical element if something happens in the world as it has recently happened. Then usually it's only a thing of a few days, so we want to have that tiny bit of flexibility. But essentially, we're on track. We're moving fast towards it. Final technical preparation. There's also a lot of marketing preparation. There are communication activities. There are tons of different things, and then we're preparing for the community pre-sale, which obviously also needs to take place before TGE, otherwise it wouldn't be a pre-sale. But so moving fast, going generally well, and optimistic to succeed with the TGE, with a successful TGE within weeks, very few weeks.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I think, it doesn't, as you said, there is a dry run taking place very soon. All the pieces start falling into place. yeah, we have this campaign that now started, or the challenge that leads up to the TGE. Also, we have the PinkSale pre-sale, which is going to be crucial beforehand. Of course, and that's what you said as well, right? A specific date is always hard to pinpoint because there can be things happening in the meantime which we just can't foresee for now. So we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but really give out a clear date at the point in time when we can be sure that from our side everything is ready. But yeah, it's a matter of weeks and can't take too long. So stay tuned on that. And I'd say this is also something that we really haven't communicated yet now on the next point that we're going to talk about. So yeah, it does make sense to join in those sessions because there is a certain level of alpha that you can get in here, which is the community pre-sale. So Tommy, maybe you can give a short overview on what this is all about, and yeah, also maybe whatever we can already communicate with regards to rough timelines on that end.
Yes, absolutely. So we plan a community pre-sale on PinkSale. It is planned to start next Tuesday, which is the 15th of July, and it ends the Sunday afterwards, July the 20th. That's all set up. It's not a massive one. We're shooting for a hard cap of 2,000 SOL, which give or take is about 300,000 USDC. Yeah, we have prepared the PinkSale page already, so you find the details there. You obviously know the project, so that should be easy. It's really meant to allow the community to be part of our project ahead of the TGE, so that yeah, that gives you a rough indication of how this is going. We do quite some community build marketing around that, but it's not a hyped marketing. It's really, we need to address the DePIN industry, or call it the DePIN community. We're marketing towards them. We have clearly seen that our project is not ideal for people that are more meme coin minded or any other things. So it's for people that understand a project that works and builds out a infrastructure that's there to be in, or that's here to be around in the long run. And that's why we're also working with Hotspot, with their DePIN hub and many other reliable sources in the DePIN industry. We're really here building out something for the long, and that's what DePIN is. DePIN is not just a hype; it's something solid. And yes, that's what we try to do with our, or support with our community sale.
Yeah.
Go and check it out. You will get more information on the socials once we go live with everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the important dates to recap is the 15th of July, which would be the starting date, the foreseen starting date now for the community pre-sale, right? Again, there can be shifts, but this is what we aim to achieve. We will be sharing an announcement probably on that tomorrow with more details. If it doesn't come tomorrow, it should come the day after or the day after, right? So give or take, but it should go live tomorrow, so you guys can check all the information there. And yeah, as said, you mentioned.
Sorry, Dominic.
Say again.
The documentation page is also already online, so if you want to know how it works, go check it out in the documentation.
In the documentation on our onocoy.com website, right?
Yes.
And then, yep, and there you find a link to the docs, so documentation. So feel free to go there and check it out already. We haven't announced it yet, but yeah, as said, this is the benefit when you join those streams, because you get some alpha that, you know, otherwise you might oversee easily. So yeah, I think that's hopefully very clear on that. I don't see any questions that have been asked so far, although we have 100 people almost in, which is kind of cool. So happy to have you guys here. If you're in, like, give it a like, interact with the posts or with the live session so other people can also see it as well. That would be much appreciated. And I would say that's the point in time where we switch over to you, Daniel, and you can give us some information on a funding update.
Sure. The Onocoy project, actually, since its beginning, has been very successful, mostly funded through non-dilutive grants, which means different entities that support projects like ours have given us money just to do what we want to do without taking equity or tokens. And that's obviously our preferred way of being financed, because it's in everybody's interest and we don't need to give away shares or tokens or anything. However, in parallel, we have done investments by investors, and here we had good progress more recently. So in last August, we did a first round, mostly in our network, so people which are close to us, people from the GPS industry, but also some deep-in funds that have invested, and we've extended this. And as of this month, we also have the first non-deep-in focused fund, Web3 fund, that is invested into us in the form of token sales. So this, I think, has been highly successful. Nevertheless, the most funding, about 2/3 of our funding, comes from non-dilutive grants. And we believe that's a really strong support that also sets us apart from many other projects, which often have a lot of VC money flowing in, and those VCs later on, post-TGE, they dump their tokens as fast as they can when they see that they can monetize that. In our case, we don't have that huge backlog of soft agreements that we've signed and people who eventually would push the token down. So I think that's a good progress. But having this first smaller Web3 fund that is joining us now as a VC is a further proof that we're not only seen as relevant from the GPS industry, but also from the deep-in and the Web3 token investors as such.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. And maybe that actually is a very good transition to the next topic already, which is the NAVISP AI fraud detection topic, because that is in partnership with a public entity, to put it that way, right? So there is, I would say, but maybe Daniel, you can go into that, right? It's just my kind of gut feeling about that. There is a kind of connection between public grants or non-dilutive grants and these kind of projects that we're doing here.
Yes. So we've successfully closed a contract with ESA. Now, ESA is the European Space Agency, so the NASA of Europe, essentially, where they're supporting us financially in doing work in the area of spoofing detection. Now, I need to elaborate a little bit more on what that means. The GPS signals as such, they're vulnerable to being spoofed, meaning somebody could broadcast information that looks like a GPS signal, but actually isn't. It's some synthetic measurements that people can just radiate, and then every GPS receiver in the vicinity thinks it's somewhere else. That's routinely being used in areas of war, for example, in Ukraine, in Russia, but also in Israel and Iran. GPS is just not reliable because there is those broadcasting stations which send out fake signals. Now, why is that relevant to Onocoy? In our case, it's not only about those stations from those areas which may have fraudulent signals or wrong synthetic signals that could go into our system. Because we are an open and hardware agnostic system, anyone could inject synthetic data, so data which does not originate from a physical device in the field. We have many measures in place already to detect that. But now with this new fund, with this new grant, we are getting financial support to take this to the next level, to employ AI. So what we're doing in this project is we are measuring a lot of data that we already get into the system, but also simulated data. And we are training a model to figure out what is real and what is fraudulent, what is spoofed, what is synthetic. What essentially the AI will be doing is it detects anomalies in the signals. It detects decorrelations between stations nearby to figure out, is that possible or is it not? And we do that first and foremost to do quality assurance for the data, because we're selling that data onwards to the clients in the market. and their systems rely on the validity of that data. And secondly, we do that to make sure that the people that we reward with tokens, that they're not doing this with a fraudulent data source, but something which actually means there's a device in the field, an antenna in the field, and they provide this to us. This project runs over 2 years. It's a total of 1.4 million of funding that we receive, so it's sizable. And we do this partly in-house with the experts that we have within the project, but we are also working with ETH in Zurich, which is one of the leading universities also in the geodesy domain. They have a big data analytics department which looks at GPS. They've been doing such things previously, for example, for ionosphere monitoring and detection, but the same methods that they use can also be used for fraud detection. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. I'm really happy to do this. Also for ESA. ESA has a high interest in that. They are the ones who also initiated the Galileo constellation. They've been instrumental in bringing the European GPS up and running. They're funding research, and the topic of spoofing is an unsolved topic broadly in that industry. And if we can solve this using AI, I think we not only have a system in place that helps us, but also in general to the whole industry that relies on GPS data.
Yeah. So I think I kind of liked your little explanation there on it's the European NASA. So if you want to boil it down very simply for also, I don't know how many Americans we have in here or something, you know, like Onocoy is literally working with NASA, but like the European one, which isn't that bad actually. It's pretty good. It's really good. And yeah, this is kind of a huge proof or seal of approval in that sense, that not only are they supportive of what we do generally, but we really work with them together, and also with ETH Zurich, which, and also, again, another flex, Tommy, I remember that from the Twitter spaces that we had recently. ETH Zurich, the university in Zurich, is the University of Albert Einstein, you know, that very, very famous physicist. So yeah, not the worst reference points here, I would say. And yeah, that's probably a good kind of information. We will share more about the project, of course, in the coming days. So it's not only, you don't have to remember everything, we will share more about that. And in the meantime, we got actually some questions. And the first question, it kind of feels like a perfect transition to something that Tommy was just asking in the meantime, if we could also talk about that, because there has been a development that just came out today. We hadn't planned it in actually for announcing it already, but now is a perfect time. And I think the question that has been asked by Deepin Link, which I can show here, is what real-world integrations or partnerships are you most excited about right now, particularly those that signal mainstream utility or regulatory acceptance? And with that, I give the word back to you.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I could answer that in two angles, because there are really two angles or two avenues I could answer that. The first one is what we mentioned before, that we do have success with the real industry, the correction service providers. Unfortunately, they're big companies and they're hesitant to be named, but it's a real world proof of us delivering something the existing industry can use, build on, and leverage to bring high precision GNSS to the mass market. But that's not the thing Dominic was referring to. We just entered into a partnership with Septentrio, which is I would say one of the leading GNSS or high precision GNSS receiver makers. They bring us to their agnostic corrections program, and we work together in marketing. I mean, these guys know what high precision is. They make some of the best receivers in the world. They tested our stuff. They bring us into their program. We do co-marketing together. I think that clearly underlines that our service is top-notch, that it is usable for the industry, and yes, we're proud of this. And
yeah,
that I think, yeah, both the the usage side as well as the cooperation with the leading or one of the leading receiver makers that makes us proud.
Yeah, I would say so as well. That's really good news. Again, something that we will be sharing on our socials, so stay tuned. I think the post should be coming out today actually on that. So yeah, something that you can see very, very soon. So then there was another question asked, which I kind of, I think I would shift that to after Lucy, you were after you basically had your part on the BONO to ONO conversion, which is the question from Robert Wells. So if that's okay for you, Lucy, I would shift that to afterwards. And I would now push in a question that was asked in the meantime from 1000 Oos, I think. Did you withdraw TGE from BorgPad Launchpad? Are you still going through a DEX launch? So maybe Tommy, that's something that you can briefly explain and yeah, answer that question.
Yes, certainly. We have withdrawn from BorgPad Launchpad. Indeed, we did not see enough traction. We analyzed why this is, and we saw largely two reasons. The first one is that this launchpad is not DePIN specific, it's too generic, too broad, and we anticipated more traction from their marketing than what we really saw. And the other lesson learned was that we need to step up our own marketing efforts towards the DePIN industry. Yeah. And in consequence, we have withdrawn. It was lower than we expected. It was not nil, but it was lower. And we divert this now into the PinkSale launchpad. We can do this. And yes, we have stepped up the marketing and the communication efforts into the DePIN industry and into the existing network.
Yeah.
So with this, we still go through a launchpad. What has not changed is that we do a DEX launch. So that's it's related, but it's not the same time, same thing. So that the launch will take place as planned. It's just the launchpad strategy has changed.
Yeah. Anything to add, Daniel, or no? Good. All right. Then I hope this question was answered as well. And I would say, Lucy, you've been missed very dearly from our community members over the last couple of weeks when we had, or months actually, when we had the last sessions, because kind of you were always gone when we had those sessions, but now we have you back again. I mean, yeah, you had good reasons, right? You were in Hong Kong as well, so there were some really good reasons, and we made the best out of that. But yeah, now it's time for you to take back the stage again and tell us a bit about the BONO to ONO conversion.
Yeah, so for the BONO to ONO conversion, Onocoy is going to create an ONO pool that is designated for the swapping of the existing BONOs. And this ONO pool will be the size of 8 times the number of BONOs circulating to miners, to ambassadors, or anyone who holds BONO. And from this ONO pool at TGE, we will going to unlock 19% at first, and then daily we are going to release more ONOs. And now that means if you want to swap your BONOs to ONOs, you can do so. And what will happen is those BONOs will be burned, and you can get ONOs from the unlocked ONOs pool.
Yeah.
And the exchange rate would just be the number of unlocked ONOs divided by the number of BONOs that are still circulating. Now, what that means is that as we unlock ONOs more and more over time, that the exchange rate will increase because the number of unlocked ONOs is increasing. And at the same time, also the number of BONOs that are still circulating will decrease because people are going to sell. So that means the exchange rate will increase over time. And this is really in the best of all our interests, so in the best of the miners' interest, Onocoy's altogether, because we don't want on TGE directly everyone to swap their owners, because this will be a supply shock. What we want is to have a stability in the ONO price, and this is achieved if we keep or increase the exchange rate over time.
Yeah.
Now, what this means in practice for all the miners is that we are going to have a tool in our Explorer in due time where everyone can then go to and select how many BONOs you want to exchange for ONOs. But keep in mind that the longer you wait, the more ONOs you will receive. And so I would tell my friends, like, you can already trade your BONOs. I will wait for you to trade. I will wait until all the BONOs are up and the exchange rate will be better.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, this is a very important kind of mechanic that we introduced. Is there a way for people to read up on it already and to, basically digest what you were talking about in a, readable way?
Yes, so the documentation has been updated. The docs you can access through the website or through the Explorer as well. We have a page explaining all in detail. And we also have a simulation where we say, let's assume at TGE 20% of the BONOs will be exchanged immediately. And after that, year after year will be another 20%. Then we can see, for example, that how much the exchange rate will grow. And over time, on average, the exchange rate will be 1 to 8 on average. Yeah.
Perfect. That's very good. So yeah, if you want to understand more on that, of course, go to the onocoy.com website and then you click on the documentation, or if you're in the Explorer, you can also find the link there and you can read up on this. Now, if there is no addition on that part, Lucy, did you have a chance to check out the question from Robert in the meantime and can maybe give an answer on that part? Or is that something that, I don't know, Daniel or Tommy, you want to say something about? Or who would go for that one?
I mean, yeah, I could go first. So for data quality and uptime, what is important? Well, for data quality, it's highly important that the antenna is mounted rigidly and has a very good view of the sky. So that means do not place it on balconies, because then usually half of the sky is blocked by the house. It's really important to place it somewhere high on top of roofs or something. Yes, and for uptime, I think over the years, the community has figured out that if you don't have an Ethernet connection, if you have Wi-Fi, for example, sometimes it's really good that the distance between the receiver and the router is very close, so that the Wi-Fi signal is very strong. That's something we figured out together, basically, with the community. I think those are 2 points that sometimes are overlooked.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Anything to add, Daniel, Tommy, or all good? All good?
Just maybe one point. Yes, rigidly mounted and high up, but not that high up as you put it on a long pole. Because what we don't want to see is something in the wind that swings or such. We detect that, we measure that. And the reporting will also be reduced when there is high noise in the signals. So mounted ideally on a rooftop with a relatively short pole or mount. So not a 2 meter, a 3 meter, or even taller, not so rigid pole of some sort. I think that's often overlooked. It's not just putting it there and see the sky. It's also, it shouldn't move by a millimeter.
Okay. Then there was one short question which I would maybe just push in right now, because I think that's something that, Tommy, you can probably answer really easily. And then we have this.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, this is plus minus at TGE. Give it a day before or probably before or afterwards, but it's around TGE.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the switch around TGE, not at that exact point in time, right? But like a day before, like a couple hours after, something like that. The switching from the rewards will take place from BONO to ONO.
Maybe a question that could fit in here that I saw in Discord, sorry, Dolly, is that how many ONOs will the miner earn maximum per day after the switch from BONO to ONO?
Yes, you can answer that, I guess, right?
Yes, it's about 5 times more than today. I would have to look up the exact number, but it's today we're including all the factors that add to it, like the early mover boost. Right now it's about 6 BONOs. Afterwards it will be more like 30 ONOs a day, including the 5x from the early mover boost.
Yeah. Okay, then I hope this answers the question. And then there was another one, another one just asked in the chat. Ground play needed. I assume that relates to the mounting of the stations, right?
Yes, typically if you have a good quality antenna, it has a ground plane in it already, and that should be sufficient. Make sure that you do not have an extra metal surface underneath at the higher distance, because this would add multipath. But generally, you don't. If you have a good quality, like this sized, like 15-20 centimeter antenna, that has a ground plane built into it, so nothing extra to be done.
Yeah. Okay, so we have no other open questions as far as I saw. So it's now my honor to introduce to you guys the Onocoy TGE Community Challenge, how we call it. And we just, like literally 2 hours ago, or now 2.5 hours ago, we announced it basically, and it's a campaign that is taking place before and around after the upcoming TGE. So over the next couple of weeks, this campaign will run. And we did it in a way where there are multiple areas how you can participate. So basically, the main focus on this campaign is on Discord and on Twitter specifically, because on Twitter, we can increase our reach. We can ensure that more people, specifically from the deep industry, see us, people that are on crypto Twitter in that sense, right? So this is very important for us to reach it on these platforms. Now, what is it exactly? You have basically 2 main areas, so to say. You have one, which is where we urge you, or where we ask you as our community members to create content pieces, right? Posts, basically. It can be long posts, it can be shorter posts, it can be you create a video and you write a couple sentences on it, you create an image or something. And there are 4 categories in which you can do that. There is the category of meme, right? So basically you can, create something where you think it's quite funny, or it's kind of smart or witty or something like that, right? I mean, there's a load of memes out there, so feel free to, if you have something in mind that can relate to Onocoy, and also don't worry to kind of, make fun or something, right? Because I mean, in the end, there's always a level of humor in there. So that would be really cool. There is the miner showcase, where you can post a photo or a video of your GNSS miner setup. There is the best use case category, where you can, describe a real world application for our data. And there is the Dream Partnership category, where we can, get your input on which project you think we should partner up with, and also why. Now, the idea behind that is that you guys create these content pieces, and you can create them across the different categories, and you can post them on Twitter, right? And when you did that, we would ask you to go into our Discord and share the link of your post in a specific channel called Challenge Submissions. Now, this is one of the parts, right? You can create several pieces. You can also create several memes. In the end, what I always kind of like to say is quality over quantity, right? Posting 20 different posts that you ask ChatGPT to create for you they're not going to be really good. And in the end, it's about quality, because quality content always stands out. If you take some effort, if you take some time, this is much, much more worthy than just, 2 minutes with ChatGPT. Hey, please create a post for me on Onocoy, because that doesn't really, it's not a good quality content. So quality over content is really the key here. Now, there will be winners for each category. So at the end of this campaign, the Onocoy team will vote on basically the different submissions that we had over all the categories, and per category, there will be one winner. So a total of 4 winners on that side. Now, what do the winners receive? Each winner will receive a free ONO Link miner, so a station that is worth, I think, $400 or something, if I'm not wrong, and additionally 1,000 ONO, right? As said, we will vote that within the team. So we will basically create a shortlist out of all the submissions that you guys made, and then the team will internally decide, and then we will also publicate, right, what has been voted, so it's transparent for you guys. Now, this is one of the parts. So if you are somebody who likes to create content, this is for you. This is where you can, get creative. As said, take your time, make a good post, and start thinking about what you want to post about. Now, the other part is a bigger type of raffle. So basically what we have is, we have in our Discord, we have a bot that is called Engage Bot. So what you can do is you go into our Discord server, and then you connect your Twitter account with that Engage Bot. And with every Twitter post that we do, you can interact with that Twitter post. So you can like it, you can repost it, you can reply to it. And then depending on the Engage Bot setting for that specific post, you will earn points for it. So let's say we post 2 times per day, and you can, for each of those posts, earn 1 point for a like. You can earn 2 points on that day. Now, this will basically be collected over the whole time of that campaign, right? So the more you interact, the more points you can collect. Now, there's other ways on how you can collect those points. One way is that, and this is tied again with the 4 categories, which I was mentioning before. If you create a content piece, we will vote the 2 best submissions each week across all the different categories. And those 2 winners per week will receive an additional 10 bonus points, which we will basically put onto your, bank account in that sense. And if you decide to purchase a ONO Link miner during the period of the campaign, you will receive an additional 25 points. Now, why the points, and what do we do with the points? The points, you basically accumulate them. And 1 point equals 1, you could say, raffle ticket, right? So if you collect 100 points, you have 100 raffle tickets. Think of it like in a lottery. And at the end of the whole campaign, we will basically do a raffle where we define winners from this category. And there is a prize pool, and we haven't communicated yet how this will be exactly distributed, but there is a prize pool of a total of 20,000 ONO, and a one-of-one ONO Link miner, which was signed by you, Daniel. So we have a signed version of an ONO Link miner, which is kind of the grand prize, I would say. And you have basically the chance to win that as well. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure to join our Discord. It's where a lot of the things happen, where a lot of the conversations happen. And also you can connect to the Engage bot that we will be using over this campaign, or for this campaign, on our Discord server. And then basically starting tomorrow, you will be able to earn those points. You can also claim them daily in our server and already collect those points. And at the end of the campaign, which will be sometime after TGE, like shortly after TGE, we will pick those winners from the 4 categories, and also the total winners. And I do believe that we have a really good package here, a really attractive prize pool. We have 5 miners literally that we're giving away. Each of them is worth $400, and one is signed by Daniel, which makes it priceless. Daniel doesn't like that, I know.
No, it's spoiled, right?
No, and then we have a total of 25,000 ONO, which is a lot. So I think there's really attractive prices in there. We want you guys to join that. We want you guys to support the TGE, the community sale, and also what we are communicating. And then I think this is going to be really successful. And I'm really excited to look forward to what you guys will be posting and what you guys will be sharing in the challenge submissions channel. As said, it starts tomorrow, so you have sufficient time to set up everything. And that's the campaign. You can read all about it in our Discord and also on our Twitter. We will share more about it, of course. And you can join in at any point in time. But of course, the earlier you start, the more points you can accumulate over time and thereby increase your chances. That would be it. I think there were 2 more questions asked in the meantime. One was Fly High Quality asked if we are tired. I don't know. I don't think we're tired. We're busy, but we're not tired, right? No, I take that as a no. And then there was the question on, will the early mover boost? Oh wait, I just put it in there. Will the early mover boost multiplier applied to early adopters applied at TGE? Any details regarding this? I'm not sure. I think Tommy or Lucy probably would go ahead and answer that.
I can take it. So the early mover boost is essentially a multiplier. As written here, it's currently at 5. That's applied to all rewarding. It's currently on a global scale. We will continue with this as we still believe we are in an early phase of the project. We're certainly not in a late phase. Out of our ambitions of around 100,000, we're in the vicinity of 5,000 stations, so there's still quite some room. Having said this, we will gradually scale back with this factor as the usage rewards will grow. So that's the other factor, and that's actually in the long run the much more powerful factor to reward our community for their efforts. But as we are a B2B business to a good extent, this grows, but it's not sort of a step function. And until we have the usage rewards on a sufficiently high level, we will use the early mover boost to make mining worthwhile for our community.
Yeah. Then there was a question on how to claim the ONO that was won from the last campaign. Yes, this was planned in to be shared in the next couple of days, whenever we have the time. Basically, if you are in our Discord already, you can open up a ticket right now. I would share a reminder in there in a couple of days, so we can collect your wallet address, and then we will distribute it after TGE takes place. So you get your rewarded there. But as said, like, we will post about that as well. It's not forgotten or lost or anything. And we will make sure that we collect your wallet address so you can get your price there as well. There was a there was another short question which we had already answered before, but happy to answer again. Sex or DEX launch? It's a DEX launch. We're not going to be listed on any sexes by choice, right? So this was a very conscious decision to go with a DEX launch only. We believe that this is the right way to build Onocoy as a sustainable long-term project, and not potentially get dumped on our heads by any, I don't know, let's say non-reliable players in that sense. Simon, I won't take that as a question, but I don't know. Maybe Lucy can also sign a minor. Let's see.
Send it to me and I will sign it. It's okay.
Exactly. But take into account that if you have to demount it and then send it to Lucy, you won't earn any BONO in that time. So
I'm sure your handwriting is much better than mine is.
Could be. Okay. Guys, then I think we have we hit 50 minutes now. We have 284 people live in the spaces or in that AMA session. So that's really cool. I'm really, really happy to see you guys being so interested for all the questions that you've asked. I do hope it's been a insightful session. I do believe it's been an insightful session. We shared quite a bit of information that wasn't publicly communicated yet. So yeah, I think that's really good. And we just had one last question. So before I basically stop it, I will take in that last question and then we end it for today. So let's check it. First of all, thank you, Ersin. Aside from the conversion of BONO tokens to ONO, is there any airdrop planned specifically for early miners? Who would answer that?
I can take it. No, we don't plan a specific airdrop. We believe that our BONO to ONO conversion tool is pretty attractive, and it actually, if you play it well, you get much more than the 8x. It depends on obviously what others do, but I think that's a solid, or more than a solid, incentivation for the very early miners.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. Yeah. And yes, Fly Quality, I also hope that we can set up some more miners in Japan. That's a really good place to set up miners. So yeah, hopefully we can.
And that might be actually a reminder that our
I was about
to say. So some call it the Southeast or the East Asia campaign is still running.
Yeah.
We do 5x in this region. And if I say this region, then it's South Korea, it's Japan, it's Taiwan, it's Singapore, it's Malaysia, and it's Thailand. Mm-hmm. And that's because we have a real traction down there, or over there. It's not only down, it's over there, at least from a European perspective. And we can use every single station there. Now, maybe just adding to a complexity, prior to TGE, we obviously apply the 5x to the bonus. So on top of the early miner, there's a 5x in this area. We'll do you earn the 1x right away. You see this in your wallet. And the remaining 4x we will do as an airdrop to your wallet after TGE. After TGE, we also turn this into ONO rewarding. Obviously, we have to. And then at the end of the campaign, we do the same again. You get your 1x immediately, and the 4x you get at the end of the campaign. That is then early October. Just to avoid confusion here. Yeah. All right, there are more questions. Good.
I don't think we have any other question. At least
I see several.
Yeah, true. I'm sorry, they slipped through. Yeah, true. Okay, well then we take some more questions. This is related to the Southeast Asia campaign, right?
Yes.
It's currently not for. Well, it's extended in the sense that it continues until the end of September. So there is still 1 quarter to go. And we obviously monitor the situation, the progress, and if we still see that we cannot serve our customer base sufficiently well, we'll discuss what we can do, and an extension is obviously one of the options. But I cannot commit to this today, right now. But it's still, out of the 4 months, only 1 has passed, so 3 months are still to go.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Then we had 2 more questions. I cannot display both of them at the same time, but they basically ask the same kind of thing, right? So what about European countries? Any priority for Onocoy's deployment? And there's also the question on when will the campaign for Africa get started? So, I mean, I think, Tommy, you can probably answer that pretty easily.
Yes, let's take first well, in general, we incentivize especially where we have holes and need to fill the holes because customers demand data there. In Europe, there are discussions with clients on where they need identification, but no decision yet. It might well be that we set incentives. In the background, we're also building a system to automate that, because we clearly see that's an important tool for rolling out the network according to user needs. So that might not be then on a country level, but it might be regional, whatever. So we're working on that, but there's nothing ready to be said today. Generally, the same is said to be true for Africa. If there is a demand for a certain region in Africa, we can and will set incentives. Right now, we do not have anything beyond the normal demand in this region.
Yeah.
So we really let the demand side guide us here. That's the decisive factor for us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now 6 more minutes we had. Now it's 56 minutes since we're live. I don't see now really any more new questions, except for if I missed them again, but I think I should be good. So I would say thank you very much for joining, Lucy, Tommy, and Daniel. It was a really good session. It was really insightful. A lot of things are moving. As you saw, a lot of things will be coming in the next days and weeks. So make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to put on the notifications so you don't miss anything, and you really follow what's happening. And of course, and first and foremost, probably to all the people in the audience, 330 people almost. So really, really happy to see you all here. Really happy to see such big interest. And yeah, looking forward for the next things to come. We will certainly be back and yeah, talk more about what's going on. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much. You guys have the last couple of words.
There is one question.
Okay. We're spontaneous. Okay. One more question. For example, if an early mover device is currently in the USA and I will move it to Europe, will the 5x multiplier still apply?
Yes, because it's applied on a global basis. If we're talking specific on the global early mover boost from our reward system, this is not the Asia campaign, which happened to be also an additional 5x.
Yeah.
There, if you move it from Japan to Europe, you would obviously lose the extra 5x, or you win it if you do the opposite. But yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't speak too long because otherwise we get more questions, which is not a problem, but I think we're good here. Guys, thank you very much again. Take care, all the best, and speak to you very soon.
Thank you all for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.